Hello, this is Campy. It's a little late, but I thought I'd sit down and make a little reply to what's been going on recently. All the arguments that have been kind of passing around in the group, and I just kind of wanted to lay to rest any of the kinds of worries that people were having recently about me. I don't have any regrets of what's going on, so I feel completely free to just speak my mind on the subject, and I hope that you'll just listen to me throughout so that you can understand it fully and not get a incorrect perception of what's going on. So I'll start at the beginning. This started a couple years ago, and we used to have a guy named ICT who was part of our group in Rolve. And Rolve is the creators of Arsenal, and they're connected to Spaceman Moonbase because all the developers of Rolve are working in Spaceman Moonbase. It's like a subsection of Rolve. And ICT at the time, we were pretty close with, and we didn't really have any problems with. And I got a claim one day that he had been saying things in a voice chat that I thought were problematic. And obviously I asked for evidence, and they said that they didn't have any because the evidence that they had, well, you can't really record a voice chat at the time. They didn't have something like Shadow Play Up, so they didn't have anything. And I was pretty skeptical about it, so I brought it up to the team, and I said, this is what I have a claim of happening. What do you think we should do? And I think pretty quickly everyone just kind of jumped on the bandwagon of just get rid of him out of sheer guesswork, just hoping that that was the right thing to do. And we did. And looking back on it, I really should have contacted ICT prior to that, but I was just really scared. I didn't really know what to say or what to do in the situation. Well, in the present, ICT and his group made a document basically clearing himself and saying that the things that were alleged against him were not true, and that was the case. So, but the problem was that at the bottom of the document, it basically gave my info as well as Crystal and one of the Forsaken developers' info, and basically told them, contact this person to get IC reinstated. And that led to a lot of heat being poured not only at me, but at the group. And the group was looking for a way to sort of find a way to direct with this. I was pretty much blamed for it pretty quickly. And they were worried because, well, if the people from ICT's community were angry enough, they could obviously dox my info and things like that. And they basically said I was the one that had the most, I guess, quote unquote, dangerous info that could be leaked. And that was, they brought up my girlfriend. So this is a little bit of a tangent story, but my girlfriend and I, we met back in high school. She was second year and I was a fourth year at the time. So we were both in high school, and we've been together for the last 4 years, which was really nice and wonderful. When we met, she was in a really abusive relationship at the time, and I basically met her and her parents met mine, and I basically kept in contact with her through texts, and I kind of helped convince her to stand up to her boyfriend at the time and get over it. And it ended up working out, and then we stayed in contact for a while after that. And then we basically asked both of our parents for permission to be together as a couple. And they said, sure. So we got consent from both our parents to make sure that it was all okay. And we told Rolve about it, and they were all pretty much chill with it. And it took a while for my girlfriend to actually get used to the group, because she was kind of in her shell and she was still a little bit shaken from being abused so recently. but I was glad that she was able to open up her shell and kind of talk to some of them. And she hung out in several of our voice chats, and she played games with us on our game nights and things like that. And I was really, really happy for her. Well, back to the present, they discussed my girlfriend, and they basically said, well, you got together when you were in high school. And I said, well, yeah, she was a second year, I was a fourth year. What's the problem with that? And they said, well, that's too young. And I said, what do you mean that's too young? People get together in high school all the time. I don't see what your problem is. And they said, well, that would be bad if that got out. And I said, that doesn't make any sense. It's not like we did anything wrong. We never did anything illegal. We went on a couple dates every couple months. I didn't really see what the problem was, but everyone in the group just flipped out, absolutely just flipped out over that. And they put me in this group chat with a couple of the developers, and they just laid into me with some of the, it just really hurt. And I was quickly banned from everything. They didn't even take into consideration anything I would have said. They didn't contact me prior to it. And I asked them what was the problem. And they said, well, obviously the age cap that you have is too much. 2 grades, too much. You were 18 and she was 15, and that's too much. And I said, whoa. Let's hold down for a second, because both my parents and her parents were very supportive of us, and they still have. We've been together for 4 years, and I never even remotely did anything to hurt her, and she never did anything remotely to hurt me. People date in high school all the time. I didn't see what the problem was. And then they just started calling me out and saying things that I could have done to her. And I said, that's not true at all. And I brought my girlfriend into the group chat, and she quickly, very well defended me and took my side and basically said that, well, we treat each other with respect. I would have no reason to not. And we've been together for so long. We care about each other so much. There was never any reason to ever hurt anyone. And they stopped responding. Well, the people from Rolve stopped responding. And both her and I kind of took it as, well, everyone kind of needs to calm down. So we went to bed. And in the middle of the night, I woke up, and I got a message from one of the developers in the DM. And they said, thank you for what you said. They don't really have a problem with how you met anymore, or the grades that you met in. They're just now concerned about how you continued the relationship, as in, like, they thought that I had forced her into the relationship. And I told my girlfriend, and she basically went back and wrote a long thing saying that everything that we've ever done was always completely agreed upon between her family, my family, me, and her. And there wasn't any room for any sort of something like that involved. And still, Rolve did not respond to me. And I basically went back to bed, and she went to bed. And then we woke up, and they had thrown us out of the group chat. They've all blocked us, and they've cut off all communication. So I don't know what to say. We provided them with everything that they wanted. We answered all the questions that they wanted. And everything that we've done has been very, very well strictly abiding by the rules. I mean, I've never done anything to hurt her. She's never done anything to hurt me. My family has always supported me since the very start, and I talked to them about this a couple of yesterday, and they said if something was wrong, they would have not let me even remotely talk to her in the beginning. And her parents felt the same way. They still support us after all these years. We've been together for 4 years. And it just really hurts that they just decided to change their mind and throw me out like this. It just really hurts. I don't know what to say. I mean, these people were my best friends for over 10 years. Well, and sorry, I just I don't know. I've received nothing but radio silence all day today, and I've basically been backed into a corner. I don't know what to do because I've been seeing so many people, and they've all been worried or they've been unsure of what's been going on. So I thought I should make something like this to describe what was going on, because I have no guilt for anything I've done. I've never done anything illegal. I've never done anything morally wrong. Everything we've done, we've stayed within the boundaries of what isn't acceptable because we wanted to be safe. That was the most important thing. I knew that obviously there would be spotlight on us, so I wanted us to be safe. But it feels like even though we made sure everything would be okay, it ended up just being worth for nothing anyway. I don't understand how that can be seen that way. I know maybe some of you will feel the other way. I would not be surprised, but everything I've done and everything she's done has always been to protect and take care of each other. And I'm sorry that the others don't feel that way, but I am glad that a couple of the developers has actually come into my DMs and they've expressed that they support me and that they understand what we were and what we still are. And that makes me really happy that some of them still care. But I just wish I could understand why they just let me go like that. As for the rest of the community, I don't know what's going to happen to Blocktails. I'm sure it will progress without me, but I can't say what will happen to it in the future. I'm just at a loss. I've tried to reach out for 2 days now, and I just can't get anything through. So I just wanted to come clean and say that this is what's happening, and I have no reason to lie. I have no reason to beat around the bush because I'm not ashamed of anything I've done. I've done my best to keep everyone happy. I've done my best to protect my girlfriend as much as I could, not only from her first boyfriend, but just from online fans as well. So I just wanted to say that I'm going to miss this game. And I'm sorry that they don't have the same opinion on this as I did.